Hey there YouTube, Air of Carthage here with another online commentary battle for Shogun 2 Total War. You can see my opponent's name there. I'm really not sure how to say it. It's like Zu Holland, something like that. I'm really not sure how to pronounce that one. So anyway, he's a YouTube viewer and he was excited about this battle. We were both about the same rank. I can't remember. I just earned my 10th star today, so woo! Finally made it to the end. But I don't remember if I was 9 or 10 when I played this, and it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Any case, he's a very good player. I think he was 10 stars at this point, and I knew that I was probably going to be facing off against a very skilled player, and didn't really know what to expect. This map is the Sanriku Ria. I'm not sure I've showed this map to you before, but it's a fairly straightforward map. It's got kind of a circle of woods around, you can see, and then a little bit of forest in the center, and then the key buildings are on right now. So here over in the blue, you can see Zuholin's army. If I pronounce it wrong, sorry. Just yeah, just understand that his name might be different than what I'm pronouncing. So anyway, let's take a look at the armies. I have these things in like slow motion the whole time. I'll try not to do that to you. This battle is a little bit longer. Up front, I have three. Yeah, I think it's 3 units. Yeah, 3 units of Matchlock Warrior Monks. And these guys pack a serious punch when it comes to skirmishing. Right behind them I have 2 units of Bow Warrior Monks. And then behind them I have 3 units of Yari Ashigaru with good upgrades. And then right behind them I have 3 units of Naginata Warrior Monks. And then right behind them I have the new and improved converted version of Patchy. And yes, Patchy has converted to the faith. That's why you can see him wearing his monk get up here. So yeah, Patchy is a faithful convert now to whatever religion. I think the religion of Patchyism, which is being proud of being such a peasant. So yeah, there's the monk version of Patchy. He's looking pretty cool. I'm liking the new Eco-Iki downloadable content. That's one of the things you get in it. And then behind Patchy I have an unupgraded unit of Yari Ashigaru. And then just behind there I have some Katana veterans. I have Patchy's Pain Train, and whoever came up with that name, I am really enjoying these guys, and they're probably one of my favorite units now. And then I have Sushi Express over here, also a very good name. So I have them set up, and then over here in the woods hidden, I have a couple of units that you haven't ever seen before, and I'm trying to sneak up on his flank. And I have a couple of, Warrior Monk Cavalry. And I've never showed you these guys. They're Naginata Warrior Monk Cavalry. Just to let you know a little bit about them, I'll pause real quick just so you can get a good look at them. These guys have good morale. They have like 12 morale. I think 12 melee attack, which is better than Yari Cav, lower than Katana Cav, and probably just a little bit less than Great Guard. But they have excellent melee defense skills, which again is probably just a little bit less than Great Guard, better than Yari Cav, and probably maybe even a little bit better than Katana Cav. But they have a weaker attack. Their morale is the same as Katana Cav, though, just right away. So they have better morale. They don't have any armor like this mounted samurai. So it's basically just like mounted monks. They have a decent charge and they're decent versus cavalry. So they're kind of like in between Katana and Yari Cav, but not exactly. So take that for what it means. You just kind of have to mess around with them for yourself to get a feel for them. That's why I'm playing the match with them here. Let's take a look at my opponent's army. Right now, all he has visible is 4 units of Bow Warrior Monk. At least I think he has 4 units of them. Yeah, he does. 4 units of Bow Warrior Monk, and then behind them, he's got some Warrior Nuns. I'm glad he brought these because I didn't, and I want you to see them. So these are the fearsome fighting women of Japan, and these Warrior Nuns are very similar to Warrior Monks, except that the Warrior Monks are focused on defense stats, and Warrior Nuns are focused on attack stats. So these women have a brutal attack stat. It's like 20 or something, so it's like a ninja almost. That's why there's only 75 of them, just because their stats are so brutal. He's got 2 of them, and then he's got another unit of Naginata Warrior Monks here, and then he's got a Naginata Samurai. Sorry, I got tripped up on the words. And then over here he's got a few units of Katana Samurai, 2 of them. And then another Naginata Samurai on the flank. So he does have 4 Bow Warrior Monks. He's got the skirmishing edge, but I'm capturing this archery dojo. I've now captured it and captured the farmhouse. And over here we were both springing a trap on each other, so I see a Great Guard unit. And I go ahead and I do get the charge with my Naginata Warrior Monk Cavalry, but you can see it didn't kill us, but maybe 4 or 5 of those dudes in the charge. And they've already done more damage than that. And so I'm trying to encircle his Great Guard. I don't do the best job of it, but I do get them encircled. But here you're going to see just how superior Great Guard is to the other cavalry, because these guys are going to fight out of the encirclement and win, even against some cavalry that is quite good. So yeah, these Great Guard are just going to massacre all of my my Warrior Monk Cav, but at least my Warrior Monk Cav are going to damage these guys so bad that they can no longer participate in the fight. And at this point, knowing that my opponent had one Great Guard unit, I just went ahead and assumed that he had two. And here's his general. He has a melee general who's also going to charge into here and just really seal the deal against my Warrior Monk Cav, who were otherwise causing quite a bit of damage to that Great Guard. Actually, you know, they would have won that. I didn't realize that. Yeah, they would have won that fight until his general came. His general is one of the melee generals, though, and he came over and just wrecked the morale of my Warrior Monk Cav and won that. So, I guess a couple of those Warrior Monk Cav would beat the Great Guard. Very interesting. But they definitely wouldn't beat this melee general. So here I have started a skirmishing fight. You probably haven't seen air skirmish in a long time just because I've been doing so many rush armies, but don't be fooled. I don't do rush armies every time. And my opponent was kind of taunting me about that in a funny way, because I have done rush armies on my battles a lot, but I do use missile units. And as you can see here, I have actually a very missile powerful army. 5 units of Warrior Monk missile units, 2 bow and 2... there are 3 matchlock. You can see I have a great skirmishing position here in these bamboo, and that's giving me great cover, and it's allowing me to rip up one of his units. I'm focusing my fire on one unit of his warrior monks in order to try and take them down. I don't believe his warrior monks have any chevrons, his bow warrior monks, sorry. But eventually he probably would win the skirmish. But right now it's really long and drawn out, and I'm making him waste a lot of his ammunition. And I have the archery dojo, so my guys are going to be, you know, qualitatively better at skirmishing. And then to improve that, I've actually put Patchy in stand and fight just back here. There he is. He's going to come up and get out the stool. It kind of almost looks like a dress in some ways. It's kind of funny, his waistcoat. Anyway, there's Patchy the monk. You can see that he's mouthing something. Probably mouthing something to the enemy general. I'll let you use your imagination on that. In fact, why don't you just have a little contest to see who can come up with the best mouth-off line that Patchy is saying right here to the opposing general. So, in any case, he's inspiring these guys to fight even better now. So now my men have a better reload speed, and as far as my retainers in this battle, I was using some defensive retainers to make my Yari-Ashigaru and monks better, and then I had a retainer to make the reload speed of my missile units better. So you can see my warrior monks are firing off volleys very quickly. That part of that is due to the fact that Patchy is there. Now this unit started to run out of ammunition, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it back up here to replenish the ammunition at the archery dojo. But it was at this point that my opponent started to retreat, and it was because he didn't like this position that I had here in these woods. And this is a very smart move. When someone has a better position on you, it doesn't hurt to go ahead and retreat and see what maybe you can get out of it. And again, I kind of thought he had a great guard hidden, but I really just forgot totally that he had the that he might have another great guard hidden. And I mean, you never know if he does yet because you haven't seen it, but I totally forgot to be watching around, and so you're going to see me run these bow warrior monks up here very unprotected to this archery dojo. Like I said, the archery dojo will replenish my ammunition, so I'm going to do that just while my opponent has retreated. And then I'm formulating a new strategy. I remounted Patchy here, and right now I'm thinking about what strategy I want to take next, because my opponent has taken a very good position in these woods up here. So now his men are the ones that have covering fire from the trees, and he still has a hill advantage for his infantry, so he's taken a very superior position here. And his infantry is far and away superior to my own. Way superior to my own. So I definitely need my matchlock warrior monks to make up the difference. And that's going to be in morale busting and as far as kills. Because most of my infantry is made up of these Yari-Ashigaru, and even though they have healthy upgrades and they have extremely increased melee defense because of my retainers, I think it's like +5 overall to their melee defense, which is already quite good. They're still going to get beat just because they don't have much of an attack. And these warrior monks, remember that their attack stats got nerfed in the last patch. They do have extremely good defense stats. Again, I think they have like +5 to their melee defense, but that's not an attack. So really this army is fairly defensive. The real striking component of my army as far as the offensive part is this katana cavalry. But my opponent brought mostly Naginata troops. So it kind of nerfed my, my katana cavalry here. So my opponent brought a very smart army. Definitely a smart army. And I thought I would have the easy edge in the skirmishing department, but I don't, because my opponent ended up bringing those 4 bow warrior monks. So here's my dudes up here having their ammunition replenished. I think it'd be kind of cool if they were like up there grabbing quivers of arrows and stuff, but they don't. So yeah, you can see them there just standing around. They're probably like taking a pee, trying to get some coffee, something like that. I guess. Hey, bless you, that guy was coughing. Guess he's a little bit sick. Yeah, here's the archery dojo. It's kind of cool if you look around at the details on these buildings. They got like the little mannequins there and everything. Guys are practicing with targets. And then they even have like a little tower here. It'd kind of be cool if you could garrison that tower. But, oh well. Yeah, so right now I'm reformulating my strategy and kind of thinking about what I can do, because he's definitely got a superior position. So here you're going to see me start moving my matchlock units. And I figured I was going to go ahead and move my matchlock units and then probably some Yari Ashigaru. And I'm gonna bring them in a group over here. So you can see them all starting to move. And my idea is to form up and march this way and then take half of my army and go straight up the center. That way my opponent won't really be able to use his missiles as effectively if he has to shoot at 2 targets. At least that's my idea. We'll see how it works. Splitting up your army is definitely a risk-reward situation, because although it makes you be able to be more threatening from multiple directions, it also makes you weaker in both locations, because you don't have your whole army. So sometimes your enemy will fall on you and destroy one of your wings before you can reinforce. So splitting up your troops is definitely a risky operation. So here's my Katana Cav. I decided to send them over here as, like I said, kind of like a striking component to go with my matchlock and my spears. My bow warrior monks were still replenishing their ammo, and look at this, just so crafty. My opponent so patiently waited for just the right moment, and here he comes. The only thing I think he did wrong here was he shouldn't have had his Great Guard in that spear formation, and they would have taken out my guys even quicker. But look at him just wrecking these bow warrior monks. These Great Guard just have a field day with these guys, and you can see some sweet death animations going on there. And I start to run them away. I knew I should have been looking for this, but I didn't. I just didn't look for it. It was really stupid of me. But in any case, here's my opponent. He's wrecking these guys. He does see my Naginata monks coming, though, and he's going to go ahead and pull these Great Guard back out of the fight for the loss of 4 men, which I'm not even sure how he lost 4 men, to be honest. And look, here's all the writhing corpses of my monks. They just got wailed on. They're like, thanks a lot, Patchy. You know, protect us. So in any case, yeah, that was really crafty. I have to give my my opponent kudos for that. He just wailed on my men there from the woods. So very good strategy there of patience on my opponent's part and waiting for just the right moment. He waited for my cab to move off. He waited for everything to be just right before he struck. And he very nearly took out both of my archer units. I did get away with just this one, which is now very damaged. But even in its damaged condition, I want this unit, because with 4 bow warrior monks on the opposing side, I need something to help me soak up the arrow fire. And I chased off his men as best I could with my Naginata monks. I'm actually kind of lucky he didn't charge my army, but he probably didn't want to, because I now do have this matchlock component on his flank. So here I got 3 matchlock warrior monks and 3 of my Ashigaru units threatening his flank. So my army is definitely split up into a more menacing position now, though I do have to keep a careful watch over the fact that I have a Great Guard unit in the rear of my army. That's a dangerous situation, something that you have to be aware of. Now, I am going to fast forward just a little bit. Again, he hid his damaged Great Guard unit, and I knew this one was around here somewhere, didn't know where, and I kind of just had to go ahead and get it to spring. So this will give me the opportunity to kill it, and he's going to take this opportunity to kill as many of my matchlock units as he can, because he understands that my matchlock units are the key component to this battle. So this is an interesting battle so far. I like it because, you know, it's being fought in phases. And both I know what the strengths of my army are, and my opponent knows what the strengths of his army are. I know the strengths of his army, and he knows the strengths of his army. So I'm enjoying seeing this. For some reason I ran this, like, you know, all the way ahead. I didn't mean to. That's my Apache spear wall. So my opponent's still sitting in this position up here, but he could be moving his units around in the trees. I can't see what's going on in the trees. I'm going to go ahead and bring my Katana Cab back over here with my flanking component. I'm going to fast forward just a smidge. I'm just getting my men reset over here. You can see, though, that the terrain is not perfectly suited to matchlock combat, but it will work mostly alright. My opponent is going to pull and reposition slightly behind this hill, and again, very smart move by my opponent, because that's going to give him some cover for my matchlock fire. It will not protect him on this flank, though, but the trees will give him a little protection. But in order to keep my opponent guessing, I am going to go ahead and start moving up this flank over here just a little bit. I'm definitely having to keep Patchy protected with my Naginata warrior monks, because that Great Guard unit is back behind me, like I said. So I have to keep a close eye out for Patchy, because losing him at all in this battle would be bad. Very, very bad. So here's where that cavalry engagement was earlier. My Naginata cavalry was beaten up on his Great Guard until his general came in and wrecked that situation. So that's the remnants of that skirmish. These Matchlock warrior monks look so cool. And I think it's kind of fun just playing with some of the warrior monk units now that Patchy is a warrior monk himself. I think it just kind of adds to the whole aura. So yeah, here you can see me moving up, trying to take position to start harassing this army here. His men are going to start firing. I do have a little bit of cover from the trees though, so you're going to see that my casualties aren't going to be super fast, but I will be taking casualties. This unit is out in the open. Fortunately, I moved them just in time though for those flaming arrows and missed most of those casualties. So here I'm going to use a typical delay tactic, which is I'm running my cavalry forward. I'm not actually going to attack, but I'm just going to force his skirmish units back, force them to quit firing, and then make them stop getting kills. So there you go, I'm just chasing them out, and I'm going to run immediately back. I can't waste my katana cavalry, I need those guys. They're kind of like mounted infantry for me in this fight. So now that I have my opponent fixed in one position, I'm going to move from the other direction. So here you can see Patchy marching up the rest of my troops. But to be honest, my opponent probably isn't too threatened by my infantry in either location, just because his is so much better. So he's going to give his bows as much opportunity to fire as he can. But my Matchlock is now very close and is in range and still has quite a few men left, so some damage is definitely going to be done. So here they are, they're going to line up and start firing, and the warrior monks have a good reload speed and morale, so they won't rout super easy. So there you go, you can see they opened up and they've already almost routed one of these units of bow warrior monks. This unit over here doesn't have very good position though, so you're going to be minimal casualties. This unit does have decent position, but they're not really in range of some of the units that they have a decent position on. Alright, so over here on this side, I'm moving up. I'm going to get Patchy ready for stand and fight. At least I think I am. He did get fired on just momentarily with arrows. I took my warrior monks into battle. I've rallied them already with Patchy. And then I'm going to go into stand and fight, like I said, and I've used Warcry now, but so did my opponent, so all of our units are under Warcry. So really it's kind of a net nil effect there, except for that I have stand and fight and he doesn't. So that's going to make my warrior monks qualitatively superior, but he's got his warrior nuns in here, which have a huge attack. So check out these warrior nuns, taking on my warrior monks. Ooh, nice face stabbing there. Merciless woman. So yeah, you can hear them yelling in there. So those warrior nuns are going to tear me up, and then his Great Guard here pounded through my Yari Ashigaru and got a hold of Patchy, so this is a very dire situation. So I've moved up my Matchlock units and started pounding his general, which is a very powerful unit, and I killed over half of his general unit, so that's going to really change the dynamic of this fight, because he needs that general to cause casualties to me. And here I'm going to kite my, my Matchlock units back. I think some of them actually might rout now, or at least they almost rout. I've got to get them out of that fight though, and I'm going to go ahead and put my Yari into a spear wall to just try and hold enemy infantry. And I'm going to get my Matchlock behind to start laying down some fire. I don't really care if I kill my own Ashigaru. I just want to get shots off on these enemy Katana units and Naginata units. So that you can see that's exactly what I'm doing. And I get a fair number of kills on these guys right here. You can see the pile of bodies there. So you can hear that Patchy just got dealt the death blow there. And I only have a few units left over here. I do have these spears in a defensive formation, though a melee general ignores spears. So what might have otherwise been an easy kill on his general won't really accomplish much. Plus he has a whole lot of his troops left. So these Yari Ashigaru are going to bite the dust. But they are buying me precious, precious time. And some of my Naginata monks are still in this fight, even after all that. So that'll give you an idea of how much morale these guys had and how much defense they have. So even after all that, they're still in the fight. So my infantry does hold out here a while longer, and I was able to blast his Katana Samurai to pieces just like I wanted to. Katana Samurai have pretty poor morale, and so do Naginata Samurai, and that's what I was facing over here, so that's why I was able to blast them, and some of my Yari Ashigaru actually got out of that fight alive. So here I'm recouping my losses, pulling back my mangled Katana Cavalry, and my mangled Matchlock and Yari Ashigaru units. So that was phase 2 of the battle. We had the opening skirmishing and cavalry fight phases, And now we finished Phase 2, which was a major infantry engagement. And we both won in a particular location, so now our victorious forces are going to have to face off against each other in a new setting. So here he's trying to regroup his men and run to a better location. You can see his general unit is very beat up. Most of that was from my matchlock fire. I've caused very little damage to him from any of my melee units. He's got some warrior nuns left, a whole unit of bow warrior monks there, some warrior monks, another warrior nun, and one warrior monk and one Naginata samurai. So here I'm using my katana cavalry to slow his retreat so that I can do this, which is shoot his warrior nuns. I hate to be mean to women because it's not very gentlemanly, but these women gotta die because they are absolutely murdering my army. So I got my shots off there, and now I'm going to try and run my matchlock out of there. He does get his general over here though, and I'm having a hard time protecting my matchlock units. This one's beat up. He's now beating up this unit. This one routs and they're shattered, so they're never coming back. This unit is wavering and now they're shattered, so I only have one unit of matchlock left. I have to save these guys. I just have to. So here comes my Katana Cav, and Katana Cav is the kind of unit that a melee general will be scared of because they're probably the most effective unit you can use against a melee general. I had to let my Yari-Ashigaru get shoot up here just for the sake of buying me time. And then my Katana Cav, like I said, is chasing off his general. So I was able to accomplish that. But I do need to once again consolidate my losses from that engagement. It was worth it because I killed a lot of warrior nuns, but again, I need to pull back, and I need to use my matchlock effectively. So here you can see me pulling back my spears. I've only got one matchlock unit left. It's down to half strength. These spears are going to get caught, though. These are my Satan spears. I didn't realize they were in that defensive position, so they were walking away too slowly. So here you can see these warrior monks come up here and start dealing the business and sending my Satan spears to go see Satan. And they routed almost immediately, just shattered. My matchlock, however, though, was able to wheel up and get some more shots on these Naginata warrior monks and really brutalize these guys. So you can see that they did some extreme damage there. And once again, I'm pulling my my matchlock back as far as I can, throwing my spears in to do what damage they can. And my Katana Cavalry did catch his general and rout him. And now I've also routed his bow warrior monks. So now it's just some of his infantry finishing off mine. And then I have a very beat-up unit of warrior monk matchlock, which I'm moving back right now so that I can reload and try and get some more shots. Because my only chance to win this battle is to get some shots. Here, again, I'm distracting his men with my cavalry, not actually going for an attack. And in fact, one of his units of monks shattered right there. So here's my warrior monks. They pull back, open up another volley. Not necessarily all that damaging, but the morale effect that it's having is devastating. You can see that his warrior nuns then rout. They shatter with 23 left, and all he has left is this unit of Naginata samurai. I'm surprised they're the last unit, but they do come and stand and fight. But my Katana Cavalry are going to come and have at them. And then they go ahead and rout. So extremely good game to my opponent. It was kind of a long one. I hope you enjoyed that. It was all, you know, phases of the battle. There was things that I did good, there was things my opponent did good, there was things I did wrong, and there was things my opponent may have done wrong. Great game to my opponent, though. Hope you enjoyed that. I've definitely been playing a lot of very skilled opponents lately, and I have to say that it's been a real learning scenario for me, so I hope to teach you some of the lessons that I learned from that. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of those new units, and hope you enjoyed that battle. I will splice in the results screen, and I will catch you later.